guys, this is IrieStarcraft and I'm back to cast another game for you. This is going to be a 2 versus 2 and it will be on Scorched Haven. Now, I know it has been a little while since I have posted any games. I'm sorry about that. I was out of town for a friend's wedding and I also was busy last week casting the 4v4 Zeke.com Mayhem tournament, which I should be casting tomorrow. It begins at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. By tomorrow I mean Wednesday, as this game may not be up until later tonight, which is Tuesday. But anyway, if you guys want to play on it, if you want to play in the tournament, you should go sign up at Zeke.com and I will be casting it and you can ask me to cast your games and it'll be live on Justin TV and it's going to be super awesome. And so anyway, with that intro, this is going to be a replay from the 2v2 Zeke.com tournament from the 28th of July, a couple weeks ago. I did not cast this tournament. And this is the ace match of the finals, game number 5. So this is for all the marbles at the very end of that tournament, and I had a special request to cast this game, so I'm looking forward to that. And it is going to be a mirror matchup. It will be between Team iP2, which is iPbopo, and he is the Teal Zerg. His teammate will be iPMaCbOi, and he is the Blue Terran. Their opponents will be LostDog, the Red Terran, and Dimsum, the Purple Zerg. Now this team is known as Team Poo, which I'm already going to be rooting for Team Poo because don't we all have a weird obsession with fecal matter? It is so funny, I just don't understand why. Anyway, we are doing some early scouting here and it looks like both Terran players are going to be walling off the front of their ramps here, and meanwhile the Zerg players, it looks like, I did notice one of them was slightly ahead in the spawning pool. It looks like we had to have a pause there because of bug issues. Been there before. And IP choosing to put his first Overlord down here. That helps to scout against any kind of cheese. I don't know what happened in the previous games. So the reason that Overlord is there could be because somebody tried to get super crazy with some proxy racks, but maybe just wants to know when and if any rush is coming in. Anyway, so yeah, I'm looking forward to an exciting game. I've not seen either of these teams or these players go before. We have a bunker coming down from LostDog front and center down here, so I expect to see an early expansion on the way soon for the left team. Meanwhile, the right team, looks like a second barracks is now finishing for MaCbOi, and he is he's getting a tech lab on this. It looks to be like a heavy marine build here from MaCbOi. Probably just going to be using this tech lab to get that stim pack. Meanwhile, a factory is on the way for LostDog. So going for some quick tech there, and because of this bunker, and it looks like he's going to start building a wall down here at the bottom with a supply depot. I expect to see siege tanks coming out, though we shall see, as there are a lot of Zerglings on the field for Bopo, so maybe some Hellions will be on the way. Be interesting to see what comes out there. Meanwhile, the Zerg players, nothing too fancy, just Zerglings and Zergling speed for both teams. Teal has got his Zergling speed finished already, whereas Dimsum does not, and a superior surround going to go to the Teal player, but the speed just now finishing for Dimsum. Going to be chasing the Zerglings back to the comfort of the Marines. And it looks like we are going to see a very early push with Marines and Zerglings coming this way, but they are going to be shocked to find out that there is a bunker half full and another bunker going down. There's not much to go in these bunkers, as a tech lab finishing on this factory. And no time to build any siege tanks as the attack is underway. The Zerglings trying to provide cover for the Marines in the back, which appear to be going after the supply depot, now scooting up and trying to shoot down some of these Marines. These bunkers are going to prove way too vulnerable to break, though. And these Zerglings from Bopo running up the ramp are not going to be able to do much up there. That is walled off completely. And this attack is going to get cleaned up fairly easily. I like how LostDog had these SCVs down here to begin with, to repair if needed. Always a good idea, especially when you know the attack is coming, to leave a couple of SCVs in range to go repair. Not that it would have really been necessary in that attack, as the right team going to be forced to fall back. Regroup. We got some more Marauders now on the way for iPMaCbOi. We'll see what I really end up calling these guys, because they have the IPs at the front of the name, and you know how it is. A lot of times I call people by their clan name. instead of their real name, which comes after the clan name. Anyway, that's cool. There is a siege tank out now. Siege technology is nearing completion, about 25 seconds on that one. An engineering bay for LostDog. A baneling's nest for Dimsum, as well as an Evo chamber in here. And what do we have over at Nya? A third barracks coming out. And Marauder Slow now on the way as well. And a baneling's nest already finished up here for Bopo. And we have some sneaky Zerglings from Dimsum. Are they trying to do some sort of run by? It looks like there will just be one Zergling scout that will be able to run by here. We'll see there is no expansions taken yet. And that does give the other team a clue that there's probably going to be another heavy attack coming very soon. And so, yeah, that scout really paying for itself. You can infer that there's no expansion there, that there is another attack coming. So it will be risky to try and throw down an expansion for the left team. Although they have this this perimeter here pretty secure, it will still be risky to throw down that expansion. You may want to wait until you can try and deflect another attack. And there was going to be a lot of banelings in here. And there are no defensive banelings unless I am missing them. But I swear there was a baneling's nest finish down here. And now back to the APM tab. The banelings blowing up all over the front on these Zerglings. A lot of damage being done. However, the Marines are able to get out of the bunker and start cleaning up the rest. These rest of these banelings are going to be deflected by this siege tank. That was an extremely quick battle there with the banelings. And sorry, I had a tab moment there where I realized I was on APM at the last second, but those banelings appeared to kill quite a few Zerglings, but not enough to break this all the way down. So we are going to rebuild this bunker here for LostDog, and now I expect to see the expansions taken, likely for both teams. As now this, this hatchery is going to go down for Bopo. And do we have a command center in base? We do not yet from iPMaCbOi. We do have a factory though. And there's already a starport finished for LostDog with the medevac on the way. It appears to be supply blocked right now. That is LostDog. So he's got siege tanks and he's got medevacs queued up, but he is supply blocked, so he's going to need some additional supply depots here. One of them is being built, and now a command center going down, as well as this hatchery. Everybody's going to expand now, and it is well overdue at this point. So the mass baneling attack not panning out there. Too strong of a defense. And you think, you know, they could have expanded a little earlier. They probably could have gotten away with it. Probably. But hey, you know, both teams are alive, man. Both teams played hard. Both teams played hard. Anybody who's a real basketball fan knows what that quote is from. And so we are going to be chilling here for a bit. It looks like we do have a Roach Warren finishing for Dimsum, so we are going to see some teching from the Zerg off of these banelings here. So the Roach Warren is finishing now, and up here we still are only on one gas, and no new tech, no new taxes. Read my lips. That's what it is, man. I'm telling you, I could go on about the economy right now. It's pretty scary. It's pretty scary. I don't want to get started. I wouldn't go off on a political tangent during a Starcraft game. That would be really stupid. So are we going to push out here? Because we have tanks that are unsieged, and it looks like we may actually be pushing out with a very small army. So very interesting here. This could just be an attempt either at a drop, or it could be an attempt at a contain, but I do not see this army defeating or breaking the front of the enemy. There's just not enough here. If they had opted to just pump out forces off of that last attack and counterattack, maybe, but instead they opted to expand. So this is going to be very difficult here. These siege tanks are going to be up and will provide a lot of splash damage, and the siege tanks definitely blowing up those Marines very quickly here. The banelings, however, are getting inside of the Marines and Zerglings, and now leaving this a little bit exposed. Some nice micro there from LostDog, though, moving the Marines away at the last second. However, all the Zerglings did die. There are a couple of siege tanks back here from iPMaCbOi, and it looks like that is going to protect him for now. Right now, what needs to happen, though, is LostDog needs to try and creep forward these siege tanks a little bit. He may be able to leapfrog them slightly. However, now the Overlord in position here. Now I don't think that will be able to happen. I was going to say he does have air superiority with the medevacs, but now there is an Overlord that will be able to provide that extra range on the siege tanks. You can see this Overlord position right here. And so this will be very difficult now to get any closer, but they will be able to keep this contained. And now some units being not being tended here from MacBOi, losing a lot of Marauders and Marines, and now Zerglings running in and out of the siege tank fire. You got to be very, very careful with your units when you're trying to protect siege tanks. You almost have to sit here and micro them all over the place, because as soon as your opponent antagonizes you, they will automatically charge into the siege tank fire if you're not paying attention. You see MacBOi trying to slightly creep forward right now, and he will have an advantage here. You can see it, this tank hitting this tank, but this tank will not fire back, and this medevac moving forward way too late, and these Marines are going to have something to say about this medevac. There are a superior number of tanks back here for LostDog. And as long as he pays close attention with his vision here, he should be okay, but he did lose one tank there. So now map control going to the left team. I like the contain, definitely. These tanks down here are a little bit exposed. We do have 9 Mutalisks now on the way for Bopo. He did sneak in the Spire there when I wasn't looking, and is also getting weapons level 1. Because I was just thinking about how exposed some of these tanks down here at the bottom are. These roaches will not provide any cover to them from the air. It's all up to these few Marines. There's only 8 of them. So these mutas could actually just straight up engage this entire army if they wanted to, could probably kill these Marines and then everything else. And I think that may be what Bopo is thinking right now. Actually, he is just going to pick off a couple of the tanks. And if some more Marines come up here, that will be more and more difficult for these mutas to break this. But they are going to be picking off tanks from the side and then retreating back, softening this army up quite a bit. The tanks are going to unsiege and looks like start to fall back. 8 Mutalisks forcing back this entire army. The composition not very ideal right now for LostDog. Too heavy on the siege, not enough Marines. But he still, I don't think he has killed any Mutalisks. Maybe he has killed one. And now a stim from MacBOi going to try and catch up to some of these retreating units. And he will be able to pick off some of the Marines, but it looks like that stim is going to wear off. Another stim being used from MacBOi. He is really softening his army up with the stim. The roaches coming out of left field to try and pick some of that off, but the stim is not worn yet. And that may not be the best idea. Now it would be good for him to attack that army, but the Mutalisks with the air superiority just destroying every single siege tank. So many Mutalisks on the field for Bopo. So powerful right now. And now it looks like we'll be flying into the main of LostDog. And he does not have enough anti-air here. There's a couple of missile turrets that could be focused on very quickly by these Mutalisks. There's one Viking. So Bopo is suffering some losses here, but not that much. There are more missile turrets back here. So it looks like he is just going to try and work on some of these production facilities. He is taking hits from this Viking though. And now it looks like we'll be falling back to the cover of MacBOi's tanks and Marines in here. And this ball of Marines have been softened up quite a bit from those stim packs. Mutos will now be flying in the back of this natural expansion. There are a couple of spore colors, so this could prove to be a costly attack for the Mutalisks. Still not enough Marines or any missile turrets down here in the front. All there is one bunker with only 2 Marines in it and more siege tanks going down. Now there are enough Vikings out here for LostDog to really prevent some more damage from this Mutalisk. So doing a lot of damage right there was Teal. Bopo with his nice Mutalisk play. And now he has some Mutalisks, or some Zerglings, excuse me, streaming in here. And now a map control belonging to the right team. We'll see if they try and get a third base going. Now, whoa now, easy there. LostDog getting a little ahead of himself. He does have one Thor now to help deal with the Mutalisks, and there are infestors on the field for Dimsum. Oh, so powerful. So powerful. Easy there, Vikings. As a couple of Vikings are near death trying to engage these Mutalisks without any ground cover. There's not enough of them. Mutalisks so fast. More and more Mutalisks coming out for Bopo. That is, what is that, 19 Mutalisks? And uh-oh, I see a lot of Marauders and Marines going into the medevacs. and he is going to shuttle all of his army up into the Zerg main base. And I still don't even think that the left team can see this yet. And not until now are they going to see this drop happening. And what are we going to do? He's going to have to pull this entire army back up here. Oh my god, Dimsum. He does have a Nidus Worm finished down there. I did just notice that, but he is in big trouble at his main base right now. And he's forced to bring all his units back up here to try and deal with these medevacs. The lair has fallen. Just like that, and it looks like all of that army except for one medevac worth will die, but he was able to pick off the lair, which is very big. And now all of the units for Dimsum loading into the Nidus Worm. Where is the Nidus Worm going to pop out? Pings are going off all over the place. The Nidus Worm has completed inside of Bopo's base. He is streaming Zerglings and Roaches into the main. Oh my god, are we going to see an eye for an eye? And then you see Bopo desperately bringing his Mutalisk back here to try and save this base. I don't think he will be able to do it in time. At the same time, there's major battle between the Terran players going on in the front, and a lot of these Mutalisks dying on that one Thor right there. But now it looks like reinforcements have arrived to clean up the Nidus Worm attack, but not before the main base has been mostly annihilated. So both Zerg players losing their main base. Still action going on at the front here. Very, very, very close right now. And some of these units from Dimsum, it looks like, were able to retreat into the Nidus Worm, or they just never came out to begin with. Whew, lots of action in this game. Pretty intense. And I remind you guys, this is the ace match of the entire tournament. Game number 5 in the finals. There's not any money on the line, but there is a bid for a future money tournament on the line, and there is major bragging rights on the line. And it's been quite exciting so far. These Mutalisks are really going uncontested here. There's not enough energy on this Infestor for a fungal growth, and whoa, Mutalisks running really close to the Thors right there, but they do have a little bit of ground cover. Very, very close right now. This is going to be very close, and it looks like the left team will be able to hold with the robust Roaches and Thors. Cleaning up all those Zerglings and Mutas. Uh-oh. I think the left team is in a little bit better shape right now. It is hard to say. Dimsum may need to think about throwing down a new hatchery here just so that he can keep these buildings from all bleeding to death. We'll see about that. As you see, Bopo has been trying to take this third base, and it looks like that has been scouted by LostDog, and he is going to easily be able to take care of that, especially after that last attack. At the same time, there's still some units sitting down here for iPMaCbOi that he could do maybe something with down here, and a couple more Mutalisks flying down. This base getting completely cleaned up. It looks like we're going to continue marching towards the main. There are still now a couple of Mutalisks will be working on all of these buildings inside Dimsum's main base. Meanwhile, Bopo has rebuilt his main hatchery up here. And here comes the attack. Oh, I don't know, man. There's a lot of siege tanks down here. Make it 6 of them, really shelling away at these Thors. And oh, there goes that attack. iPMaCbOi baiting them right into that. And these siege tanks just making quick work of that. Now, is there going to be another counterattack? iPMaCbOi is not choosing to move his siege tanks quite yet. So we will see, but I don't think a counterattack is going to do much without all of these tanks. Because LostDog does have 3 tanks of his own as well as a Thor. And it looks like he is going to try and straight up attack this. Look at the fungal growth going down, doing so much damage right there. iPMaCbOi will be forced to fall back, and here come all the tanks. Whoops. Yeah. Some advice there from Bopo. Should have waited for the tanks, and looks like a smart decision leaving these out of siege mode to focus down these units. Siege tanks going head to head right now. Whew. So close. It's so close, you guys. And more Zerglings streaming in. Both teams desperately wanting to try and end this game. More and more siege tanks being built by iPMaCbOi. He's building 3 siege tanks at the same time. He has 3 factories pumping out siege tanks. He is now transferring SCVs. Looks like trying to get this base working. 4 mules down here. Really mining quickly and taking advantage of that map control, which is exactly what they need to do. Looks like we do have another Nidus Worm And that has been scouted here, and there are Zerglings coming into the middle line of the natural expansion for iPMaCbOi, so another nice Nidus Worm from Dimsum, but not controlling these Zerglings here. They will be running after the siege tank. It looks like Bopo is going to be able to take care of that, as the Nidus Worm still has not been picked off, though. And what do we have here? It looks like Bopo scouting this new base. LostDog's going to go ahead and take this, even with this Overlord sitting here. And yeah, it looks like Bopo will be able to take care of that with some Zerglings, as it will be completely defenseless. This is an orbital command and not a planetary fortress up here. So that is going to be forced to lift off here, I believe, in just a second. And you see when and if LostDog, well, now that he lifts it off, the Mutas are here to finish it off. So the Mutas look like they will actually be able to finish off this command center. And now a couple of dropships of Marines coming in the top side for iPMaCbOi are going to start wreaking havoc in the base. Meanwhile, Banshee and Cloak is trying to be researched. We'll see if that can finish. There are a bunch of stimmed up Marines, however, inside of his base. Going to be taking out those missile turrets. And oh no, the left team is in so much trouble now. Team Poo bringing up the infestors for Dimsum, and they will be able to clean up those Marines with the siege tanks and infestors. However, the main force outside of the front door is getting very, very scary here, with a lot of siege tanks, 2 full rows of siege tanks, and now plenty of Marines to support them. I think an all-in push here from the right team may be able to end this game, but these infestors will be the trump card, the X factor, if you will. And these infestors are going to move up around the back to try and deal with these mutas. Now could be a perfect opportunity for them to move in. We'll see. There is some units being loaded into a medevac right there, and it looks like the infested Terrans and 1 or 2 fungal growths will be able to take care of these mutas. But this dropship is going to get, or some units will be elevated up here, and are these infestors going to get some fungal growths off? No, it looks like they do not see that. The vision so bad for the bottom team. They do not know about this up here, and as soon as these infestors pull all the way back, he will be able to run over here into the main, which is pretty much shambles now. I guess he can finish off that Roach Warren, and now he's going to jump in here and drop down into this middle line. Needs to be extremely careful. Here come the infestors to try and deal with that. Where are they going? Here they come. Fungal growths going down. Are we going to see any infested Terrans? It does not look like it. And the positioning for iPMaCbOi up here on the high ground so superior. Another stim being used here and running down, but he will run into some siege tanks, so he's going to go ahead and lift off there. A nice drop, another nice drop play from iPMaCbOi, even still 1 Marine alive here, preventing all the mining from the left team. It looks like this one is pretty much in the bag now, ladies and gentlemen, as the right team has had full map control for quite a while, really skyrocketing ahead in the income department. And it looks like Neural Parasite being researched from Dimsum, though I don't know how effective that is going to be. The Cloaked Banshees, though, from LostDog may be able to provide some sort of protection here. There's a single Broodlord for Bopo. Make it, will be a couple more here very soon. And if they follow up these Broodlords, that could simply be GG. Broodlord's so powerful, and really no anti-air to speak of for the left team, as you see all of the Banshees, no Vikings. So these Banshees now, desperation, trying to kill as many of these Marines and siege tanks as they possibly can. Looks like queuing up the attacks on the siege tanks, but there goes the Banshees. There is an overseer here. And uh-oh, look at the Neural Parasites going off on the Broodlords. I just don't think it's enough infestors. Yeah, Neural Parasite on Broodlords seems pretty powerful. There's just no support for them. And yeah, the right team with a much superior force, and that is going to be game. It looks like Team iP2 will be taking this, and oh, is there a nuclear missile? There is a nuclear... Oh, it is not going to go off. That would have been an awesome ending. The nuke does not finish, so congratulations to Team iP2 winning the 2v2Zeke.com tournament from a couple weeks ago. I did not know who won this game. I specifically asked Dubstep not to tell me who won and to send me the replay, so that was a pretty exciting game, I must say. Very, very exciting there. I'm not sure if this is master levels. It may be mid-master level game, but it was pretty exciting. And so, yeah, I'm going to be casting the 4v4 tournament on Wednesday, tomorrow at 7:30, so you guys should check that out on my live stream, or you should enter the tournament if you want to get on the live stream and show off how awesome you are at StarCraft. So that is going to do it for me. This is IrieStarcraft, and peace out.